It is an enormous pleasure and privilege for me as chairman of South-South Cooperation Council to lead a series of messages from my friends and colleagues on our boards to commemorate International Non-Violence Day. The United Nations General Assembly designated 2nd of October as International Non-Violence Day because it marks the birthday of one of the greatest icons of 20th century, Mahatma Gandhi. Today, more than ever, Gandhi's teachings resonate as an inspiration to us all. He was an integral part of the process which led to the independence of countries of Indian subcontinent. Since then, the colonialism is largely a matter of the past, but the hegemonistic policies of great powers have replaced it by a series of regional and national conflicts and proxy wars, which are dangerous because of the sophisticated weapons in today's theaters of war. And the prevailing cause remains the desire to get access to energy and mineral resources of countries of global south and increase the geopolitical influence of great powers. In South Africa, Gandhi was also champion of racial harmony, and whilst apartheid is buried in South Africa, where he lived for a long time, the racial prejudices and conflict persist until today and are even present in one of the most developed countries, the United States, leading to Black Lives Matter movement. He also championed religious tolerance, and yet conflicts fed by religious intolerance spread even to Europe and Eurasia, not to mention developing countries. Moreover, sectarian differences within the same religion are also contributing to conflict. Nuclear race and additions of countries to nuclear club makes any possible future conflict cataclysmic. However, there is also a hope, and Gandhi's teachings have led to some miraculous transformation through peaceful protests. I am not only referring to the Arab Spring, but even ongoing demonstrations in Belarus, in the heart of Europe. We in South-South Cooperation Council are immensely proud to have the custodian of Mahatma Gandhi's doctrine, Mrs. Ella Gandhi, as an eminent member of our board, herself a leading champion for religious tolerance and peace. This compilation of video messages from members of our boards, including young people, is a testimony that the flame of Gandhi's teaching shines brightly and that his legacy is perhaps more meaningful and valid today than ever. Happy birthday, Mahatma.
October 2nd has been designated by the United Nations as the International Day of Non-Violence, as it marks the birthday of Mahatma Gandhi. I am proud to tell Ella Gandhi that her grandfather's teachings are still as inspirational today as they were when he was fighting for them almost 100 years ago. Mahatma Gandhi initiated a road and invited us to transit on it. It is a good day to build on his example, and I invite you to make of his path of humanity, generosity, and love the main inspiration of our lives.
Happy birthday to our most esteemed and beloved Mahatma Gandhi. October 2, your birth date, has been recognized and declared by the United Nations as a day for non-violence to inscribe in our consciousness about your noble mission for peace. Indeed, political and social progress can be achieved not by armed conflict that causes destruction, death, and disabilities, but through peaceful means of dialogue, intercultural, interfaith understanding, and acceptance and respect. Your words, your pen, mightier than the sword, has impacted worldwide. In our region in Southeast Asia, the Philippines has demonstrated a unique people power with faith and determination to cast away a dictatorship without bloodshed and restore our freedoms and our democracy. This is a glorious moment that was paved through the brutal assassination of Ninoy Aquino. His martyrdom was welcomed by the people who then were able to shed the mantle of fear, and millions joined the funeral. We are even told that our EDSA peaceful revolution has affected or inspired the breakdown of the Berlin Wall. In like manner, my husband, who was a member of the Constitutional Convention, Alvarez, defied the dictatorship and its manipulation of the convention. Bearing persecution, he was, with God's grace, able to elude a shoot-to-kill order, and in exile, helped build a democratic opposition. He drew his strength from the courage of Gandhi, who had a call for truth to prevail. To quote Gandhi, he said, "Many people, especially ignorant people, want to punish you for speaking the truth, for being correct, for being you. Never apologize for being correct or for being years ahead of your time. If you're right and you know it, speak your mind. Even if you are a minority of one, the truth is still the truth." Indeed, he persisted with his colleagues to expose the violations of human rights, lobbying, trying with all their effort to expose the hidden billions, the plunder of the nation's wealth. Even now, this commitment to truth is so vital as fake news and historical revisionism is becoming prevalent. I myself has been reinforced by Gandhi's exhortation as an artist. The true measure, he said, of any society can be found in how it treats its most vulnerable members. Under a restored democracy, as a senator, Alvarez founded the Earthsavers movement. Our cultural arm involved persons with disabilities, joined by other vulnerable groups that had indigenous members, out-of-school youth, even street kids. And we transformed them through the arts to be creative and productive citizens, handicapables appealing for ending violence against mankind and Mother Earth. Our efforts were honored by UNESCO as Artists for Peace. And with UNESCO patronage, we launched a global movement for peace, climate justice linked to sustainable development goals, not by force, but by art, not by compulsion, but by persuasion. This day is also a moment for thanksgiving to a global peace guru with a brave heart, with such wisdom for all times. I am a COVID survivor, though sadly I had lost my husband. And I am still grateful for this new lease of life to carry on our common vision towards a more peaceful, healthy, clean, socially just, and sustainable world for our children, our grandchildren, up to the 7th generation. Indeed, we would like to take this moment on behalf of the Philippines, the International Theatre Institute, and the Social Change Network, which I lead, as well as the Earthsavers, to say thank you, maraming salamat, mabuhay.
It's a great pleasure for me, as a member of the SSCC, to contribute and honor the date of the birth of one of the most important figures of the 20th century, Mahatma Gandhi, who inspired me so much for my work of peace, as creating the Tree of Peace, which is the road all over the world for peace by education, and it's one of the trophy of UNESCO, and also for all my work as ambassador of Goodwill and special envoy for cultural diplomacy.
Good day. My name is Lemuel Jr. I'm the Executive Director of the National Association of African American Studies and Affiliates. I bring you greetings from members from the state of Maine and our colleagues from across the United States, and more specifically our affiliates, the National Association of Hispanic and Latino Studies, the International Association of Asian Studies, and the National Association of Native American Studies. On this date in 1869, the world was blessed with the arrival of Mahatma Gandhi. Across the globe, he is recognized for the influence he had on many of our political leaders and people who were dealing with social injustice. A few of the people who he has influenced were Martin Luther King Jr., major civil rights leader in the United States, Desmond Tutu, Nelson Mandela, the Dalai Lama, and the 44th President of the United States, Barack Hussein Obama. As we observe Mahatma Gandhi's birthday and the International Day of Nonviolence, I would like to draw your attention to 5 of Gandhi's 15 key points to remember. Number 1, abide by truth under all circumstance. Number 3, perfect courtesy must be shown at all times to all people, even those who may be considered as enemies. Number 7, win over people with opposing views rather than fight with them. Number 10, observe the economic and educational conditions of the people, and where possible, help to raise their economic position through education and skills training. And finally, number 13, help to resolve disputes in the community. Again, I bring you greetings from the National Association of African American Studies and Affiliates. Thank you.
Greetings from Sri Lanka. People across the world are together to celebrate Mahatma Gandhi's birthday, 2nd October, which is also the International Day of Nonviolence. Whilst Mahatma Gandhi was one of the leading figures of 20th century, is of global importance, it particularly rings strongly in the countries of South Indian subcontinent and neighboring nations, all of which have faced wars and civil unrest due to ethnic and religious intolerances. Now more than ever, Gandhi's teachings are important and inspiring to create a better world of peace and tolerance. We in SSCC are proud to have as a board member the custodian of Gandhi legacy, Mrs. Ella Gandhi, with whom I have had a pleasure to working together in South America, and I am pleased to join my colleagues on the other continents to celebrate this important day in the hope that his teachings continue to inspire future generations. Thank you.
Today marks the celebration of the birthday of Mahatma Gandhi. He was a resistor of British colonialism. His work led to the inspiration for the US Civil Rights Movement. He raised the plight of the underprivileged in India, and he raised the importance of women's rights internationally. His work on bringing about religious pluralism was very significant, and today we mark his birthday.
Greetings from the Americas and the island of Jamaica. It is such a great privilege and honor for me to have the opportunity to convey a congratulatory message to you and your family on the birthday of the timeless Mahatma Gandhi, one of the most inspirational and transformational leaders this world has ever had. As I reflect on what I can possibly say about his legacy, I realize I will fall short to express what his work and his life has meant to humanity and the planet. More than 7 decades after his passing, his teachings are maybe even more relevant and needed today as we face so many challenges, many of which he himself experienced, and others are new or exacerbated from our own failure to live our lives more aligned with his teachings. His tremendous courage, gentleness, and simplicity showed us how significant change and goodness can be brought about without the need of violence, of bullying, with respect, dignity, and compassion to others. How we crave for some more of those principles in the world today. Ella, you and your family have indeed much to celebrate to be part of such lineage, and we collectively, the people of this world, celebrate as well his 79 years of life on this earth and his timeless legacy. Be the change that you wish to see in the world. Ever since I came across this sentence in my early 20s, it has been one of my guiding principles in life. Those simple but profound words have been a constant reminder in my path as I strive to become a better person, to provide a modest contribution for a healthier planet, and to treat every sentient being with the respect and dignity they deserve. Happy 2nd of October. Indeed, a joyous day to celebrate his life. Namaste.
My name is Akbota Zholdasbekova. I'm the Vice Rector of the Eurasian National University, a university situated in Nur-Sultan city, Kazakhstan, in the heart of Eurasia. 2nd of September 2016, Madam Gandhi visited Eurasian National University, and we had the pleasure to listen to her lecture. Madam said, if I will be able to convert one violent person to non-violence, I will consider my lifetime goal achieved. We would like to state that Madam's goal, at least here at this university, in this country, is achieved. As since that date, we are celebrating the International Non-Violence Day and the birthday of Mahatma Ji. Her grandfather's quotes, so as an eye for an eye will only make the world blind, or be the change in the world you would like to see in the world. Our students know by heart, they understand by heart. And those small kids who were just aiming for peace 4 years back are now fighting and working for the peace in the entire world. This year, unfortunately, we are celebrating this day online, but we're hoping and believing that next year we will be able to see each other and tell each other in vivo how the world is and how the peace is to be created with the young people of Kazakhstan. Thank you.
We in SSCC are pleased to be able to celebrate the International Non-Violence Day and so pay our respects to the great champion of peace and justice by non-violent means, Mahatma Gandhi. As a Colombian, I welcomed the Peace Treaty of 2016, which ended more than 50 years of civil conflict in our country. Not only did hundreds of thousands of people die in the conflict, but it also resulted in more than 6 million refugees. One of the principal external partners who helped broker the peace was Sri Sri Ravi Shankar, who in India and worldwide spreads the teachings of non-violence. We are also very happy to have Mrs. Ella Gandhi as a member of our organization, and I had a great pleasure working with her when she visited our country in November 2018. She has inspired thousands of people who listened to her message, especially young people. And this is why we want her to know that her grandfather's teachings still inspire and motivate people around the globe.
Ma'am Ella Gandhi, today and every day we wish you the energies, the highest of energies, to continue inspiring people around the world, especially young people, especially young women. We are in solidarity with you in recognizing that peace is indeed a nexus issue, and this is what the Sustainable Development Goals teaches our generation, that peace is interlinked with many different political, economic, sociocultural factors, basically every other SDG. So we recognize that without human rights and justice and empowerment of our minorities, ethnic and gender and even age, or young people and children, then we will not be able to fully realize and even sustain peace. So it's only my prayer that we continue to be in solidarity with all communities and ensure that truly in our pursuit for peace, we leave nobody behind. I wish you and your family well during this pandemic, and we hope that there will be a chance for us to work more closely and with young people around the world for our shared dreams for world peace for all. Thank you. Bless you.